Alright, it is Friday night, and it's that time for Dream and Code Live, the awesome web show where we just talk about all things Dream and Code, including the members. And I am Andre Burdett, or Skaggles. And these are giraffes in an endless cycle of moving somewhere. It's the Great Giraffe Migration, and they're just going and going and going and going. They just don't want to stop. And interesting bit, giraffes have no vocal cords, so they can't really complain and tell the people in front of them, get out of the way, I'm trying to get by. Yeah. So I can turn it up, actually. The funny thing is that I have things differently now. What it is I'm actually running Windows 8 to try things out, so I actually had to, I've actually had to mess around with the drivers. So if you can't hear me, then I am sorry, because I have things pretty much maxed out right now. Alright. How's that sound? Is that better? Okay, yeah. So like I said, I'm running Windows 8 consumer preview right now. Just messing around, trying things out. So, like I said, still messing around with drivers and everything. Apparently some people are hearing me very low, and some people are not hearing me at all. And yeah. Oh well, we'll get through this. So, today we have a show, and let's first things first, a couple announcements, the usual stuff. You know, we have our website, weeklydic.com, where we can see the videos and everything. You should be able to see the stream right from the homepage. Also, if you want to get some announcements and everything, you should try liking our Facebook page, Dream and Code Live Facebook page, so you can actually get some of the announcements, like when we're streaming and if we cancel it and everything. And as for the audio, I cannot fix it right now. We're in the middle of the show, so we're pretty much screwed this episode. But therein lies the a little bit of announcement. This weekend, I'm pretty much packing up because next weekend I'm going to be moving. Where I'm moving will actually have better internet, so I will be able to stream much higher quality, and we'll be able to see my epic beard in HD and all. So that'd be nice. We may rearrange, we may work with the times and everything. I know a lot of people say the show should be at different times or different days, so we're going to work around with that depending on my schedule, because my schedule changes from that now. Now and again, as the semesters and stuff change, because I'm actually in school. But yeah, we'll be better. We'll have better internet. Well, I'll have better internet. You'll have better beard. So I'm not sure if next Friday I will do the first show in the new area, or if it'll be the following Friday. Worst case, it'll still be this, but I will have the sound quality fixed by then. As for the video quality, it would be much better improvement, and the sound should be as well. How about we check back in with our giraffe friends? Oh, nope, they're still walking. We're gonna check with these guys throughout the show, see how they're doing. Yep. All right. So first things first, let's talk about some of these posts, and for that I'm gonna. First, we're gonna have two people on the show today. The first person I would like to talk to is our favorite, Mr. Pencil, assuming he's going to answer. Probably should have had him there. Oh my god, you have no idea how loud this sounds to me. It sounds ridiculously loud, but it's like probably going to barely come across to you guys. How's it going?
Hey, good evening.
I hope everybody can hear you, because apparently they're having trouble hearing me.
Yeah, it's a lot of hiss, and I can hear it over Skype.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that I probably need to install the correct audio drivers or something like that. But too late, right? Maybe we'll have it all fixed by next show. I should have done some testing because I had a feeling that some of the stuff was going to be weird. So we are going to first talk about new moderators, huh? I'm pretty sure you know who these are since you're an administrator. But the new moderators...
Yeah, we got two of them.
Gunner Inc. Gunner Incoming, Gunner Incorporated. I'm not sure what that Inc. is for. I'm just going to call him Gunner Inc. He's in the channel, as well as Benign Design, D9. She was actually on the show last episode. Congratulations to them. Gunner is a new moderator. Benign Design is a alumni returning back. They're taking her off the bench, I guess. You're so quiet. Am I coming across to you? Are you just Skype is giving me shit.
Barely. I mean, it's really choppy, and I have a hard time understanding what you're saying.
This is ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Well, I have a hard time hearing you too, so how about that? The other thing I wanted to make people aware of is the challenge in the C++ C. Oh, yep. It just kicked him off. Okay, so there's a challenge in the C++ subforum area that Ishkabibble posted. Project Euler thing. How many distinct terms in the sequence, blah, 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 blah. I just wanted to make you aware of that for those people that are interested in that sort of thing, and you can go check it out. Now, I'm going to make another call here. For some reason, stuff is going crazy today. So we'll go to our other guest, assuming it goes through. Whoa! Hey, how's it going? Inviting dorknexus to the show today. How's it going with you? Can you hear me fine?
I hear you just fine.
Okay, because number 2 pencil there was having trouble with it, so I didn't know if we were gonna have trouble throughout the entire show, and I would have to just cut it off and figure things out and start again, or what was gonna happen, because it was either way it was gonna end up sucking.
Is it bandwidth problem or what?
I don't think it's a bandwidth problem. I think it's the fact that I'm running Windows 8 in the consumer preview instead of Windows 7 like I have been doing, so I don't have the proper driver set up yet, so it might just be that. Maybe I'll go back to Windows 7 and
Cool.
Because I'm testing it out, seeing how it's going to work and everything like that. So,
right.
how's it going? I assume you're a alumni, longtime member of Dreaming Code.
I guess. I don't even know how many years I've been a member. 2004, I think. It was when I joined, so yeah. It goes.
Oh.
It's going pretty good.
Tacking your keyboard over there? It's a lot of rustling about. Oh, God, why? He's calling me back right in the middle of something here. Let me, call you and add you to that thing. Alright, sorry about that.
What's that?
Sorry about that. Mr. Pencil decided to call me during the thing, and, I was trying to... I ended up clicking accept like an idiot. Alright, so yeah, you've been with Dreaming Code for a while. You said that you can't even remember the years. You remember how it was back in the day? If the amount it's changed. I mean, it's obviously grown, but is it the change has been very drastic and everything over the years?
I guess mostly the change happens just in the people who are active in the community. Some people are more active than others at different times, and so that's what really changes. Is I feel like the atmosphere. I spend most of my time in the caffeine lounge, so.
Yeah, it's kind of like Benign we talked to last episode. She's a very big person with the caffeine lounge.
Yeah.
So do you know of any people in particular from the site that are very sporadic or very constant? I know Superslaw's been around for a long time, as well as obviously Chris Skyhawk.
Number 2 pencil has been around forever, and yeah, Chris has been around for a long time. I mean, he created it, so trying to think of names that come to mind. A lot of them aren't even really active anymore, so I can't. Nova Dragoon, yeah, I don't think he's been on in a while, though. I went to school with him in college, I mean. But, yeah.
A lot of names. Has there been any consistent troubling people on Dreaming Code that come back and cause trouble, or just been causing trouble for the longest time?
Consistently troubling people?
Yeah.
I guess if they were consistent about it, they would probably be banned, but no, I think most people are moderately agreeable, I guess, so.
So,
we can get
Do you think the site's gotten better in that sense, or do you think it's what do you think of the way the site's currently at?
I think the site is doing better than it was. I think it's shown pretty steady growth throughout the years. I'm not as active in the technical forums. Like I said, I mostly stick to the corner cubicle and the lounge and that kind of stuff. But I noticed that the board is expanding and there's a lot of activity in a lot of forums, and it shifted from when C++ used to be very popular, and now it seems like Java is one of the more popular boards. And so it's been interesting to see the community change shape as languages and other technologies have come in and out of popularity.
I've noticed that they add in occasionally, they'll add in the subforms for different languages that are becoming popular, and then you see the shift as popularity grows in certain languages. The shift moves over, and people move with the languages, looking for help and everything.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just a specific technology that gives a resurge in a technology. Like Ruby on Rails is what most people are interested in when they come to the Ruby forum, or when people go into a Python forum, they might be interested in Django or something like that. And so oftentimes it's just some technology that utilizes the language that brings them there.
So were you before you were obviously a person involved with the community in order to get the alumni status? Were you a moderator or mentor or administrator? Which was it? Or all of them?
I was, I guess, an expert to start, and then I was moved into a moderator role. And then, due to basically an increased workload in school and less free time, they decided to retire me, which was good for me because I didn't have a whole lot of free time. So
yeah, I know how that is. That's why the show always seems to just get pulled together at the last minute, because it quite obviously does.
Yeah, I mean, everything on Dream and Code is based purely on volunteer work, and so it's difficult to work with people's schedules and that kind of stuff sometimes. So
yeah, I know that was it Core or Dendel Marsky we had in the first episode of the show.
Yes.
He was involved with the podcast and everything, but he had he was getting really busy and he just couldn't do it anymore, so I know he stepped down from that.
Yeah.
Number 2 Pencil, he's got nothing but time apparently.
I guess so. I don't know what's up with that guy.
I know you're always in the, you seem to be in IRC a lot, so you're involved with the Dream and Code IRC channel often.
I guess, yeah. I have a BSD box in my house that's just always logged in, so
I look at the IRC channel kind of like an extension of the lounge, where you don't really talk about programming stuff. We just bullshit about stuff. Sometimes it's programming related, but usually it's when it's programming related, we're usually talking about IRC bots for some reason.
Well, hey, I love to experiment with new languages just through IRC bots. I think it's a really quick and easy way to get up and poking around in the language. So I think it's funny to see people come in and test their bots out. And
I know you've been messing around with Scala. You said.
Yeah, I was just kind of dabbling with it and looking into it. I've got a Scala book that I purchased, and so I've been reading through it and trying to learn more about it. But like I said, I never seem like I have a lot of free time. So.
So, IRC bots are generally not too difficult. So, quick way to jump into a language and get used to some of the deeper stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
I know that you said before we can't really pry into what you do, but can you tell us anything about it?
Yeah, I can be brief about it. I work for an organization called Naval Air Command, which is part of the Department of the Navy, and I'm a computer scientist for that organization.
And that's all you can say.
That's about all I can say. I live out in the middle of the Mojave Desert.
Yeah, I'm in California. I think it's like 2 hours from you, but
yeah, I think we looked it up one day and it was like around 2 hours.
Yeah, I am not going to the Mojave Desert, so
I don't blame you. And it's starting to get hot already. So.
Oh yeah, it gets pretty hot in some areas, especially in the deserts in California, Death Valley, and all that stuff.
Well, that's the namesake of Ridgecrest, I guess, is the gateway to Death Valley, and so we always joke that it's nice to know that your town is known for the gateway to hell, essentially.
Whereas you have like all different parts, like I look at Kansas, it's like, oh, it's the armpit of America.
Yeah.
I lived in Kansas for a few years while I was in the military, so I've
Yeah.
grown. I spent a few years there, and I have to say, we went to the movies like every weekend because there was literally nothing else to do.
They have a movie theater here, but truthfully, it's terrible. It's a pretty small town that I live in, so sometimes I have to make a trip to Los Angeles or Lancaster or something like that.
Well, you're out in the middle of nowhere, so if you want to get anything, if you want to go anywhere, you're gonna have to be driving a little distance.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Drive an hour to get to a Walmart or something.
Oh no, we have a Walmart. We're not that small.
Well, of course, everywhere you're out in the middle of nowhere, and there's still a Walmart there.
It's not 24/7, but we have a Walmart.
It's not a superstar. I was gonna say I ran this one time in Kansas, me and a few friends, and we were young and stupid, and we decided to. I don't know what it was, but just out one moment we went to this one playground, and we decided to drive the car onto the playground, and we got the car stuck in the sandbox.
Oh man.
So we're out there like trying to get the car out of the playground, and we're like laughing. We hear these people in the houses nearby going, "Oh, I called the police." You ever have any interesting experiences where you just you're thinking, "Oh fuck, what was I thinking?"
Not that I should admit to, probably no.
The funny thing is that there might be some guy out there watching this show and thinking, "That's the guy that I saw."
I hope not.
That's right. Should get a Lord of Duck on the show, and you can talk about his police experiences again.
Oh yeah, that guy sounds like he's raising hell.
I want to check back with the giraffes here. Yep, they're still migrating. Have you seen these animated Bing images that they come up with? This one is just repetitive. It's just giraffes walking and walking.
Truthfully, I don't use Bing. I hate it.
What do you prefer to use? Do you use just the usual Google, or would you say you use DuckDuckGo, the new one that's been catching on?
Google, yeah.
Have you seen DuckDuckGo? It's actually kind of interesting. It's really interesting. It's doing a lot of in regards to privacy, as opposed to Google is very open with their stuff.
This is animal abuse. I mean, these giraffes are just walking endlessly.
Yeah, I know. And like I said before, giraffes don't have vocal cords, so they can't really talk about what they're doing. So we just watch them walk.
Leave it to Microsoft, evil Microsoft.
I noticed that. Supersloth posted this, so I want to make a mention of it. They posted it in April, but I didn't know Dreamcode has a Steam group that they're doing.
Has a what?
Steam group, that Dreamcode Steam group. I guess they're working on playing Portal too.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, if anybody plays Steam and everything is interested, you should check out the Dreamcode Steam group. I guess the URL's right there on the post in the Caffeine Lounge.
I don't really have a chance to do a lot of gaming, so...
Neither do I. I've between the classes and everything. But luckily, I'm officially done with finals, so this semester's over, and we're going into the summer, so I have more time. It's exciting. Yes.
Nice. Are you taking classes for the summer?
One class. I'm taking a math class, and it's going to be 5 weeks, so it'll be done by July.
Cool.
I actually start it next week. No real break. We have Memorial Day off, which actually brings me to post on what are you going to do on Memorial Day weekend?
Memorial Day.
Like that transition? Ah. Like that transition?
Yes, that was very smooth. I think I'm going to go to Vegas. It's only about 3.5 hours from where I'm at, so
yeah. Vegas is always nice.
Some friends from town are doing a birthday thing there, so I guess I'm going to go and drink and hopefully not gamble too much. I'm
probably going to spend my Memorial Day weekend packing, like I said.
Packing?
Yeah, because I'm getting ready to move, so got to start packing things up this weekend so I can move next weekend. Cool. Exciting. That's my Memorial Day weekend.
You're leaving the city?
Yeah, I'm going to be, I'm going to be in the same area, but I'm not going to be in Kaipa, where I'm at right now.
Okay.
I can say exactly where I'm at because I'm not going to be here anymore. So if anybody decides to come by and kidnap me,
Send you cheese pizzas or something.
yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be moving, and I might be moving again in a few years if the transfer goes right through colleges.
Where'd you say you were transferring to?
Look at UCLA.
UCLA.
Yes. Let's see. General discussions in the caffeine lounge. I know you love the caffeine lounge. I thought that this was interesting because it's another one of those threads that got popular before it got locked, and I love pointing out those threads that it gets featured and then it's locked down. And that's the who's snarky in real life. I actually responded to this, but I guess it got a little pointless and out of hand, so people locked it, but not before it reached the point in which it was auto features.
Monty dropped the ban hammer on it, I guess.
Yeah.
Who closed it? Was it benign?
Let's check. We'll go to the last one. Basically, it's talking about like people are very snarky and everything, but who's actually does it in real life, you know? And I have to say, I'm pretty blunt in real life at times. I think it was actually Monty was the last one.
Monty closed it. Dropping the ban hammer.
All right. Well, what do you think? Are you snarky in real life? I mean, what does snarky even mean?
I don't know. I guess it probably depends on my environment. If I'm at work, then I have to act a little bit more professional, so I try not to be an asshole, mostly because I have to be around those people for substantial portions of the day. But yeah, around my friends and around family and that kind of stuff, and people who I'm more familiar with, I tend to be more blunt, as you said.
I've always had a difficulty in distinguishing, you know, breaking it down into which groups I should act certain ways with, because I have the habit of just treating everybody the same. So, and it gets out of hand. What's that?
XKCD comic about the chiclet thing on IBM ThinkPads, like the nipple mouse clit.
Oh yeah.
And just talking about appropriate names for different environments, and so like the real name is like IBM keyboard chiclet or something like that, and on the other end of the spectrum it's like mouse clit.
Yeah. See, it's that sort of thing, and I actually read an essay about it during my English class this last semester we just finished. It was talking about how certain words have different meanings and different appropriate times to use it. And I just, you know, it's that sort of thing that always confuses me because, you know, like I have a couple nieces that are like 3 and 6, and I talk to them like they're just adults, like like trying to teach my niece, who's actually pretty good at math, who's actually doing division at first grade, and it's a private school. I was actually trying to teach her exponents.
Long division?
No, they just started division, so they're probably.
Oh.
Yeah. They're doing the whole multiplication. She's just doing the basics multiplication. I think she knows the whole 1 through 12 table.
Huh. Multiplication tables.
Those were the days.
Those were the days.
You thought it was difficult, and then you're all like in college math, and you're like, oh crap! I long for the days when it was just so simple, like 7 times 7.
I still haven't gotten over giving up recess.
What's that?
I said I still haven't gotten over giving up recess.
Recess, yeah, that was always the best time of the day.
I'm all for recess.
That and lunch, of course.
Yes, lunch and recess.
Yeah, I miss. See, now I just, you know, in college, you eat your own lunch whenever.
True. Cafeteria food. How's the cafeteria food where you're at? Do you eat cafeteria food there?
No, I don't. I actually had like 2 hours break between 2 classes, and I just go home and eat.
Where I went to school, the cafeteria food was pretty terrible, and then it got better, I guess. Not a lot better, but it improved.
I imagine cafeteria foods in colleges, depending on the college, the amount of funding they get will be better or worse. But when I was in the military, the cafeteria food was always the same no matter where you went, and it was just like
terrible slop, right?
Powdered eggs.
Yeah. But I've heard like a few people on the Dreamcode forums have mentioned that Virginia Tech is one example of a school that has a really excellent cafeteria. Apparently, I'm I was totally jealous.
Yeah. I was reading. I was actually doing like the research because I plan to transfer to UCLA, so I was looking into it, and I noticed they had like a couple different cafeterias, and one of them is like sushi.
A sushi cafeteria?
That's what it was saying.
Jeez.
I'm not a fan of sushi. I can eat the California rolls and the veggie stuff, but when it comes to fish, I have this thing with fish that I can't eat it. I know it's brain food, and it's not like I hate fish. It's not like I hate the taste. I just literally can't eat it. It's just like the texture of it in my mouth. It makes me want to throw up.
Just the raw fish? You eat cooked fish, right?
No, I can't eat cooked fish either. I've tried.
Oh.
I'm not allergic, but for some reason it just you have to look back. Everything's a result of your like conscious stuff. It's always a result of something in your childhood. In your childhood, my father used to make us eat a lot of fish. So now it's like I just can't eat fish.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Got worn out on it, huh?
Yeah, he used to make us eat this thing called abalone. I don't know if you've heard of abalone.
Yeah.
It's like shell membrane. It's just like this like round slimy thing. It looks like something that a snail would sneeze out or something, but a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Oh god, it was so disgusting. But he would make us eat it because we can't leave the table until you're done eating. So.
Was your dad a fisherman or what?
He was a scuba diver and he did a lot of diving. So he'd always like bring back like fish and I guess random crap he found in the ocean. He thought was edible.
Shoes.
Yeah.
Old tires.
Yeah, you what's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten? Abalone would probably take the top of the weird things I've eaten.
I don't know. I guess I like sushi, so I eat all that stuff, but I can't think off the top of my head what's the weirdest thing I eat. I don't know. Squid, fish eggs.
Yeah, all that sushi stuff is pretty weird, actually.
It's strange.
The quail eggs and all that.
Quail eggs, yeah.
I've had eel before in a sushi
It has the
restaurant.
texture of a loogie.
I remember I was in Iraq, actually, and I was eating the Iraqi food, and they had these like meat logs or something like that. And it was kind of difficult because he wasn't really an English speaker, but I asked him what it was when I'm eating it, and he said something about dog. And I'm like, at that moment, I'm kind of like looking at it, and I'm like, I just finished eating it. Wasn't bad. It's kind of like the whole controversy about that, about fast food restaurants, serving dog, the same thing as dog food and everything like that. And it's like, well, it tastes good.
I know, and there was some big uproar when Carl's Jr. was serving like kangaroo meat or something in there.
Oh man, there's always something weird with fast food, and that's why they always say fast food, is not good to eat, because it's not really 100% of what you think it is.
Yeah, I mean, kangaroo tastes okay to me. I had some.
One of the things they're talking about in the chat thing, the IRC chat, is Hot Pockets.
Hot Pockets? Do they have kangaroo Hot Pockets?
Oh,
maybe in
wow.
Australia they have kangaroo Hot Pockets.
Kangaroo Hot Pockets. Can you imagine
so.
Hot Pockets in Japan? Got like fish and stuff in it.
I mean, it would make sense. Like, it's an animal with a pocket. Might as well make a Hot Pocket out of it.
A Hot Pocket out of rice paper and different noodles and stuff in it. Pretty much like a what was it called? This something roll. Forget the first.
Spring roll?
Yeah, spring roll. That's what it was. It was such a simple word and I couldn't remember it. Alright, there's actually one thing that I thought was an interesting thing to think about. The topic was kind of, I read through a few of them, but it was really nothing interesting. But the idea of the topic I thought was interesting, and that was posted by the programmer. The programmer, not a programmer, the programmer.
The programmer.
That was the post about teachers know nothing about what they teach. This obviously isn't necessarily true. Not all teachers know nothing, and then there are teachers that obviously don't know anything. And I think the most obvious one is when you're in lower grades, and the teachers are generally teaching. Your PE teacher is also your math teacher, and that sort of thing happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, in college, I think, and most people have run into that guy who sits in the front of the class and he interrupts the professor or the teacher, and oh no, you're wrong. I had a good friend who was a professor, and he said that he would teach programming courses, and he said that he would and just invent a new programming language every year, and he would make the students program code against it. Like, they wouldn't have to compile or anything, he would just grade it. And that way nobody knew what the language was and how it worked, and so to them it just looked like pseudocode, and so nobody could complain and say, oh, you're wrong, you missed a semicolon. I hate those guys. I'm sorry, I hate them.
My philosophy professor from this last semester, actually, he was a really good professor. He knew a lot. The one thing is that after every test that we would have, the next day, the next class day, we would actually switch tests and we grade each other's tests and everything. And it was after the test, he would after the class when we're grading the tests and everything, each other's tests, you just see a line of people talking to the professor, going, "Oh, I think I should have gotten this right" and everything. It was just caused a lot of people arguing over their grades. I think it's just a lot more straightforward if the professor just grades things and you don't have the person next to you grade your stuff and you're all like, wrong, you're an idiot, here you go.
That's one of those situations where you need a benevolent dictator more than you need a democracy.
Yeah.
Just that guy, he can determine the grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Those guys are, I don't know. I don't know if that guy was in high school or if he was in college or what, but
I've run into some people that are teachers. That there's this someone I know is a teacher, substitute teacher right now for obvious reasons, I think. But she can't spell.
She can't spell. Okay, great.
She spelled philosophy. Oh, not philosophy. She spelled facility with a PH.
Facility. Alrighty. Yeah. Sound it out, children.
You'd figure you would go with the F because that's what you think when you hear the sound. But for some reason they put PH.
Just like phone, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty sad.
School with the SK. CH never made any sense to me in that sense.
School is cool.
It never made sense to me as far as they taught us in English language. The confusing thing is the CH sound. How sometimes it's pronounced like a SH and sometimes a CH. Like how people say it's Chicago and champagne. It's like we don't pronounce it chocolate, right? Or Sheckbar.
Chocolate. Well, it depends. If you're trying to sound fancy.
Yeah, well, I know champagne is more of a foreign word, so it makes sense. But Chicago, I just pronounce it Chicago. I don't really.
Chicago.
Yeah. People can complain and be like, it's Chicago. And I'm like, this is...
Like, whatever, you're a jackass.
Grammar police and everything. That's a double negative. I do that all the time. I don't say double negatives, but I point it out all the time. There's the one thing that I laugh at that people say. It's all like, I didn't do nothing. It's like, what?
Socially awkward penguin.
Yeah. I love those things. I used to post those things on Facebook back then. I posted random stuff. I still post random stuff.
You're moderately active in the lounge.
For me?
Yeah.
Mostly because the Dream and Code channel, not channel, but the Dream and Code thread. I've posted a lot of that. It's been ongoing and going and going and going. That's the main reason why I started the whole Facebook thing. I know not everybody is a Facebook user. But I thought it'd be a way to put out announcements. That way I don't have to sit there and post new things to the Dream and Code thread. Necro it every week.
Damn Necros, thread Necros.
Speaking of the Necro thread, there was one that made me laugh. See if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. You know the funny part, the thing that makes me laugh, not just because that this was a Necro thread. I'll bring it up right now. It's not only was it a Necro thread, but it was a Necro of a thread that actually had a thread on the same topic. And that was the programmer/nerd pickup lines that we discussed with B9 in the last episode. Apparently there was an older thread that started way before that one that somebody necroed, even though there was already a current thread on the same topic.
Oh, Lord. And
the guy, let's see, it's 2007 was the last time, and this guy, so it's been several years, and this guy, 5-year-old post, and Benign actually didn't want to log in. She responds, seriously, you necroed a 5-year-old thread for that? And all the guy did was respond to somebody saying, yes, I would.
Oh, man.
I love that, especially since if you look at the Caffeine Lounge here, the programmer/nerd pickup lines.
Yeah.
There's already a programming pickup lines thread going on right now. So they actually went back to the past to come up with and necro a thread that already had a thread going. So it's funny on multiple levels. Is what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah. Did they close that one down?
Yeah, denying locked it as soon as the guy necroed. Probably.
See,
What was that?
normally not a big deal. Those guys are pretty good about closing down that kind of stuff. I used to care, but now I don't because they can take care of it.
Was it the rule that Supersloth posted about? I think it was Supersloth that posted about necroing and banning people for it.
Ah, yes. Well, I blame it on that damn tool that's at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, the report.
Related topics, beta.
Yeah.
So people go down there and they click them, but yeah. And then sometimes they're really old. I don't know if they ever. I think there were talks that they were gonna make it so that it would only show related topics within a certain age.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I've seen that if you go to if you actually go to the programming pickup lines, the current one, and you scroll down, you go to related threads.
uh-huh.
You get all these different threads that are about. Let's see. What was that actually? Yeah, we get pickup lines, not for the faint-hearted. The coolest, geekiest way to pick up a chick ever. Actually, I'm a CIA agent. Programming / nerd pickup lines. Quote of the day, add your favorite quotes and pickup lines. Warner Brothers to pick up Doom film rights has nothing to do with what, it just has the word pickup in it.
It's got the word pickup,
Yeah. Spring break plans. Apparently picking up chicks is part of people's spring break plans.
Yeah.
Exercise, yeah, picking up chicks is exercise. Smiley face, I have no idea how that got involved.
Was just trying to contact Chris.
Related topics to picking up chicks is trying to contact Chris, the owner of Dream and Code. And what should my next step as a programmer be? Apparently picking up chicks. Because once you're a programmer, you're the coolest guy in the world. Sometimes if you actually look at the related topics, it just makes you laugh. And you know how those things make those connections. Sometimes it just baffles me.
You can see the algorithm running out of ideas, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a moment and I'm gonna play this commercial that Number 2 Pencil gives me.
Okay.
I'd like to make a comment about this. Is that Number 2 Pencil gave me a revised audio file to play along with this commercial, so it's not Kaya anymore. It's like this official, like professional sounding radio voice now. So we could play the other one if you want to hear it just for last, but we're gonna go ahead and listen to this one for this. So let me mute it up.
Having problems with your laptop? Computer Design and Repair has been servicing the Cuyahoga Falls area since 2003. Stop in for your free diagnostics. Computer Design and Repair offers flat-rate repairs, no surprise costs or fees. Cracked or broken LCD? Only $185. Broken or missing keys? Just $50. Laptop isn't charging when plugged in? Loose jack where the adapter plugs in. We'll replace your DC jack for just $125. Virus removal? Only $87. All work is done in-house to offer you a fast turnaround time. We can get your laptop repaired and back to you in 2 to 3 days. Located in downtown Cuyahoga Falls at 125 Portage Trail. Call Computer Design and Repair at 330-929-2600 with any questions or to schedule your free diagnostics. 330-929-2600. Computer Design and Repair.
Yeah. It was certainly professional sounding and clear, you know.
Perfect.
I have to say that the Kaya one was interesting. This is the updated one. Get some prices, you know, some more, you know, some information there. I believe he's actually playing this on the radio too, in the Ohio area. That voice was Number 2 Pencil. I have no idea who that. He probably just bought some professional person, paid some professional person to do some audio recording for him. So, since I'm out topics, let's talk about Dream and Code itself. You've been a member with Dream and Code for a long time, as you've said, and you've talked about, you know, you could definitely see how it's growing and everything like that. Do you have any Future predictions about where you think Dream of Code might be heading?
I have no idea.
Yeah, the future's hard to predict. Figure it out.
I don't know. When I was on board with the moderators, there was frequent talk about changing different aspects of the site or adding features or new capabilities or making what somebody could call progress, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of ideas never make it to release, and so I think they're always tossing ideas around and that kind of stuff, but oftentimes they just never make it to the big time, so to speak.
I know that they've changed the layout a few times on the site. I believe somewhere on the site, maybe I can find it, they actually have the whole historical, this is what it looked like, over time, the changes and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know where to look for it, but yeah, they actually, the way it looked when it's the first version of the website looks. I just laugh when I look at it.
It's well, yeah. I mean, that was in 2001, right?
Yeah, back when frames were the thing and all that stuff.
So I think hadn't been. I think GeoCities was probably still around, or it hadn't been dead for too long by that point. So yeah.
GeoCities, Angel Fire, I believe, was another one that.
Apparently, the 90s and apparently the early aughts were a very gaudy age.
I remember back when I first started looking for hosting and stuff, and they had the free hosting. It's like 5 megabytes of free space, and I was just like, "Whoa, 5 megabytes? That's plenty."
Yeah, I can remember Chris working on Dream and Code in his. Well, this is when he was doing web development stuff. He was employed doing it too, but I can remember seeing him work on it and. At the time, I had no idea what it was because I was not into computers at the time when I was young, but it's interesting to see those old versions of the website and think about, watching my brother work on that stuff.
So I know you are now an uncle because as we showed in an earlier episode, we mentioned how he had a kid. How's that feel?
Cool. Well, it's pretty easy, truthfully.
Yeah. Pretty easy being an uncle. You just you
Yeah.
don't have to really all the work is on the parents, of course. So being the uncle, you just you just get to give the kids some presents and feed them a lot of sugar before they go to bed, and then give them back to their parents, just like grandparents do.
Well, they're just shit machines, so
Up until a certain age, they just eat and poop.
I was really worried about it because I don't know. Everyone always thinks their babies look really cute. Most babies are ugly, I think. I was worried. I said, if my brother or maybe his wife or my mom asked me about if I think the kid's cute, do they want me to be honest?
It's one of those things about the whole honesty thing. Should I be blunt?
Yeah, I was a little bit worried about it. Luckily, the kid's adorable though, so I can be honest about it.
Yeah, just look into the crib of the kid and be like, "God, you're ugly."
Got huge ears. Huge ears.
As most people do, he if you friends with Chris on Facebook, as most parents do, he posts nothing but pictures of his kid every now and then. So
that's it. I think his profile pictures of his baby, which just confuses me.
Yeah.
Who's posting this?
Yeah, he's got to start. You got to start your own a whole separate Facebook page for your kid. You got to start them off early now, while all the good names are still available, right? Because in the future, all the usernames are going to be taken by the grandparents. When our grandchildren are around, they'll be like, "I can't get any good names. Damn you, Grandpa."
Hopefully, Facebook isn't around for too long.
I actually had that argument with the site. I was trying to get a username, but it was taken. But I looked it up, and it hadn't been active for 5 years. So I actually emailed them to see if I can get that name because it hadn't been used. And they're all like, "Oh, we can't do that, because we keep these accounts active forever and blah, blah, blah." And I actually replied again. I was like, "Well, how's that going to work later on the line when all the usernames are taken and several generations from now are looking for usernames and they have to add billions of numbers to the end?" Type. It's an interesting thing to think about, It's internet pollution, usernames, accounts, and everything.
Yeah, well, I've had to my name was. I came up with my screen name when I was like 13, so Dark Nexus was just getting too aged. I had to retire it.
Yeah.
Dork Nexus is much better.
I actually remember in IRC when all of a sudden you said that's awesome. I'm going to switch to that.
Yeah, some Norwegian dude called me that. I said, all right, I'm doing it.
Yeah, Dork Nexus, also known, aka Dark Nexus, aka. That's about it.
No. Formerly known as.
I believe you're the one that has the bloody avatar on Dreaming Code that I see all the time.
Oh yeah, it's from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, I see that every now and then. You know, I just my eyes go over to the right. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
It's animated, so draws your attention.
There's another person too that has one that's pretty bloody. I forget. It's I can't remember the name. I'm not going to try right now. But it was I believe it was Ronald McDonald was in it getting shot.
Yeah, I remember that.
He was a Ruby guy too. But anyway,
He was yeah.
So you, I believe you are kind of up there with the list of people that are pretty straightforward in your responses to people.
I guess so. I'm sure a lot of people think I'm an asshole, but hey.
Like, you know, if you, like, a lot of people think Superslot's an asshole. It's not necessary that they're an asshole. It's just you come off that way because you give them straight answers and don't sugarcoat it. As something my fiance showed me earlier, it was one of those little like demotivator kind of things, and it was all like, "You're fat, and don't sugarcoat it because you'll probably eat that too." Yeah. So,
Super Sloth is the professional asshole, right?
I believe he does hold the that title currently on the site. That most people like seeing that way, especially new people that don't really. They ask a question in the lounge, and they don't understand why this guy's yelling at them. Why are you yelling at me?
Spreading confusion.
Because you can't read the rules.
Yeah.
What's
It's the
code
rules.
blocks?
What's that?
What's code blocks? That's always been one of those problems that I believe moderators just constantly struggle with, is not putting the code in the proper
Code tags.
Code tags, yeah.
Yeah, was the bane of people's existence.
What they need to do is they need to come up with some way to just auto-detect it and add it in to idiot-proof the stuff.
Yeah, you could sense. I don't know. It would be difficult.
It would. It would definitely be difficult.
That's one of those things that's very tedious, but it's kind of required, or else it just pollutes the forums.
And the algorithm that would be required to be able to be able to just automatically detect the code and put it in the proper tags or whatever you need, it could probably be just as reliable as the algorithm that shows the related posts.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be pretty difficult to do properly.
Oh, look at those giraffes. They're still migrating.
Jeez.
They are still migrating. I've had this tab open the whole time. They are still going at it. How many giraffes are there?
God, where did they get all those giraffes from?
You can't see it right off the screen, but they're all like walking into a big cage that they're being taken off the ark. It's like, no, just two. There's two.
I think it's a ring buffer. It's a ring buffer. A giraffe ring buffer.
They're just walking in circles is what it is, yeah. I see rocks moving too, I think.
What?
Yeah. Giraffes. It's like, do they even know what they're doing? Do they even know? I believe somebody told me that giraffes' brains are like sponges or something like that. Not with the knowledge, but with like blood and stuff. They're literally sponge-like.
Yeah, that's the second giraffe trivia you've dropped in this show. Did you have a conversation with a giraffe expert recently?
I had a conversation with a expert of random facts, which is my fiance. I was showing her the thing, and she's all like dropping all these facts on me. I'm like, how do you know this stuff? And it's like, oh, I read stuff. Plus, she subscribes to something. It's a daily thing she gets in the email, and I believe I forget exactly what it's called, but like every day she gets an email from the thing, and it's like this random thing. It's like, did you know? And it gives like information that nobody could possibly have known, unless you're just a complete and utter like lifeless person.
You can always tell the guys who spend a lot of time on Wikipedia because they just know the most useless shit.
Yep. Useless. I actually am guilty of going to Wikipedia during episodes of shows to look up stuff. Yeah, I'm marrying a
Wikipedia.
giraffe.
What would we do without Wikipedia? I feel a lot dumber when Wikipedia is offline, that's for sure.
Wikipedia is a great source. You know, a lot of education or institutions, they kind of push it away because they feel it's not completely reliable because it's edited by, you know, anybody. But I believe Wikipedia's gotten a lot better, and it's actually a lot more reliable now than it was before.
Yeah.
But you do have to consider that there's people editing it, but then again, the people edit everything, so it's kind of the information is always edited. You never get information directly. You always like read it through a book, so the book was edited by people, so the information was edited.
It's true. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know. I know they were talking about doing some sort of feature where they would highlight different text and then an article to show you like how credible it was or like the likelihood of being credible. I don't know. And I never actually saw it. Maybe it's something you can enable. It's like optional.
Or like an add-on for a browser or something?
No, they were actually going to push it out and like highlight text in red if it was like, you know, dubious. Highlight it in green if it was verified somehow.
They do have something that like on Dreamico where I believe it's in red or something. It says needs a citation, I believe, so it needs like to back
citation
it up, back it up with a source, you know. And that's one thing my English professor told us. He said she didn't want to see information from Wikipedia, but she said we could use it to find sources. So that's another good use of Wikipedia. Not only can you get little facts and everything, but if you go to the bottom and look at the references, you know, you can actually go to the sites where this information was actually found.
Well, I think that's what it's meant to be used as a platform for research, and it just gives you an overview of... I mean, I'm sure you could open up a print copy of an encyclopedia and find errors in it. Yeah. And so I think people are just trying to make it something that it's not. Yeah. So it's annoying to hear, you know, the bane of humanity teachers and professors everywhere that Wikipedia isn't a real source. Like, okay, here we go.
It's kind of like back in who was it? It was I think it was Diderot that actually created the first encyclopedia in France, and they just completely, the government was completely against it because the information didn't belong to the people, right? Only rich people had information like that, right? And they dictated what information people got. So the idea of having an encyclopedia of knowledge that people could just subscribe to and get all the information they want, which is crazy. It was crazy, and I think this is kind of the same situation where they're like it's like the people are editing the information rather than a actual company. So,
well, it's just people being snobbish, and you know, it wasn't peer reviewed by 30 different, you know, intellectuals and academia, and so therefore
there's some academics I'm sure that they get involved with the Wikipedia. Wikipedia might actually hire someone.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm generalizing, of course. Yeah, I mean, some of the biggest contributors on Wikipedia are probably from the academic world.
Yeah. And I have no idea what's going on in chat, but they're going on some bestiality kick right now.
Yes.
Putting the bow wow and bow chicka wow wow.
I guess the IRC channels officially R-rated. I think the lounge is supposed to be PG-13.
Yeah, see, that's exactly. You go to the lounge on the website to get, you know, to get the cool stuff and everything, but you go to the IRC channel to get the hardcore stuff.
Some pretty raunchy 13-year-olds, though. That's all I'm saying.
But generally, the channel's most active on Friday nights as we do this, but it gets active other times too.
What else are a bunch of nerds going to do on a Friday night that everyone sit around?
You know, people want me to change the day of the show and the time, but what else are you guys going to do, right?
Yeah, you sit around and drink beer and chat on IRC anyway, so...
D&D with your friends.
D&D.
Yeah. So, but that is something we're looking into, is the different days and everything, especially with my schedule. Like, in the fall, starting in August, I'm going to have a whole crap of 4 classes I got to deal with. I'm going to be taking chemistry, I'm going to be taking math, and I'm taking a C++ class, even though I'll probably just blow through it. And
C++.
psychology. Yeah, it's an introduction to C++, so it's C++ 1. So.
Are you pretty confident with C++?
Oh yeah, I'm not going to have any problems with that. I believe, the funny thing is that somebody took the C++ class this semester and was talking to me about it. They kept coming to me like I was tutoring them through it.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out that they use they encourage the use of Visual Studio Visual C++ Express 2008.
Okay.
And they use Dark GDK, which I believe doesn't get updated anymore.
Weird.
So so it was interesting, and so I was trying to help them with that stuff. At the same time, I was like, this is stupid. They learn C++ to do that sort of thing. Alright, what time is it? We got 5 minutes. 5 minutes, so let's wrap things up then, shall we?
Alright.
Thanks for coming on the show. It was kind of last minute because, as I said, I've been doing finals this week, so I've been kind of busy. And then today was my first day where, like, I had no more classes. Today was my day after my last final, which is yesterday. So I literally slept today until, like, 3.
Man, being lazy today.
I was like, I have no homework to do today. I got nothing to plan. I got nothing to prepare for except for the show. It's like, I am just going to sleep in. And at 3 o'clock, I woke up and I'm like, oh, crap, I have to get stuff ready. I actually have that show thing to do. That thing. No, I actually do.
Yeah.
I love doing this. It's just difficult to fit it all into my schedule of other things. And I kind of prioritize my life in front of the show, which I guess I shouldn't do. Maybe I should put the show first. I'm sure people would appreciate that.
I don't know. School's probably most important, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't sleep the night before my last final. I didn't sleep because I was. It was like really early in the morning. I was like, I've been studying. It's 1 a.m. If I go to sleep now, I'm going to sleep right through my alarm. So it's better if I just stay up. Took my final, came back, slept till like 7 at night, and woke up, messing around the computer all day at night, and then I went to bed and slept until 3.
Sweet.
So yeah.
It's the end of the year hibernation.
Yeah. Adam Spates just said that it's 4 a.m. where he's at right now. So
Man.
I appreciate the dedication to coming out and actually watching the show at 4 a.m. 3 a.m. since it's 4 a.m. now, so it started at 3. Yeah, a lot of people other than Gabe Habe. Gabe Habe always passes out drunk apparently before the show.
Is it Gabba Haba, Gabe Habe?
Garba Harba is what I've heard, and I have no understanding. We always talk about that in the show. We probably mentioned it.
I just call him Gabe Habe. I think supposedly he hates that, but I don't really care.
If he wanted people to pronounce his name right, he should have put some R's in it.
Yeah. Or at least, give us an enunciation guide or something.
Yeah, Gay Babe.
Gay Babe. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
His name's Gay Babe. Alright, thanks for coming. Like I said, thanks for coming on the show at the last minute notice. And
yeah, not a problem, Mike. Thanks for having me on.
I will continue monitoring the progress of the giraffes and their ever-going need to migrate in a circle.
I think you should probably notify PETA.
Yeah. This is a live feed from Bing. This isn't an animated image. This is a live feed, and they're actually
Some
just
serious animal rights abuse.
Yeah, they're forcing them in circles. Well, they look so depressed, don't they?
It's the giraffe death march.
They look so unhappy, like they're literally marching to their death. They're like, oh god.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Thanks for coming to the show. I'm going to close things out and end things up. I believe that the show started out pretty bad because I was trying to get things working and winning and everything, but it ended up getting on track pretty quick. So thanks again, and we'll have to get you back in the show another time. They're dorknexus.
Cool.
All right, see you around. All right, like I said, we didn't start out rough. I'm going to make sure to have, especially since I'm out of finals and I have a lot of time to get things prepared before, other than the move and everything. I'll have time to make sure everything is set up properly for the next episode. And hopefully, in the next episode, I'll be elsewhere with better internet, and I'll be able to provide you with a much better quality video. And I'll make sure that everything's properly tested before we get into the show. As for the guest of next episode, we are unsure. I would like to get Chris, dorknexus' brother, Skyhawk, on the show so we can actually talk about the creation of Dream and Code and everything, which I think would be great. And we're going to contact him and see if he'll be available. But other than that, thanks for watching. If you want to hang out with us on Google Plus Hangouts that we do after the show, we can do that. I'm going to be probably taking off pretty quick because I have to pack and stuff. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.